Welcome back to the video. Today we're doing some more DFA practice. So we're designing a DFA for all strings even length. So we're going to highlight even length because that's important. And the language will be AB. So the string will be made of A's and B's in the shortest string. If we think about it, even numbers are 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So 0, like a string with 0 characters, is even. So that could be empty string. When we say this symbol, it just means empty string, and the string will have 0 characters in it. And when a string has 0 characters in it, the first state of the DFA, we'll call this Q0, will be an accept state. And then we'll put the little arrow signifying it's the first state. So if empty string is in like the language, the first state will be an accept state. Because think about it. If say we want to accept a string with 0 characters, of course the first state has to be an accept state. Okay, so that's the first one. Now we have to deal with its transitions A and B. So let's take a look because we already drew it for the shortest string. Let's see what's another an example that should get accepted. AA should get accepted, or AB, because these are 2 characters. That's just 2 characters. Let's look at this one right here at AB. So if we get an A or B, we should go to another state. Let's look at this example right here, A or B. So this transition right here, this takes account to this A, and then we'll go to state Q1, and then we'll have another transition A comma B going back to Q0. That takes account of that, and that puts us back at the accept state. Now let's look at a different combination. Say A. Q0 to Q1 wastes an A. Q1 to Q0 we get an A. Now we're right here at Q0. To get to Q1 we use an A. Now we're right here. To get to Q0 again we use an A. That puts us in the accept state. That works. What if we do A, B, A? If the string is rejected and is not in the accept state, that's good because this is odd number. So from Q0 to Q1 that wastes an A. Q1 to Q0 that wastes a B. Now we're right here at Q0. To get to Q1 we use another A. Now we're right here. It's not an accept state. That's perfectly fine. So that's the DFA for this string right here. Okay. So now we're saying DFA for strings less than 2. So let's highlight what's important. Strings less than 2, language AB. So it's going to be composed of A's and B's. So strings less than 2. Less than 2 could be 0 or 1. Because it doesn't say less than or equal to 2. So it could be strings with length 0 or 1. Once again, this could be, empty string is in the language. So the first state will be an accept state. We'll call this Q0. And that's going to be an accept state. We'll put the little arrow saying that's the first one. Because what if the string is just empty string? That means we want to just stay in the accept. So that's why it's an accept state. So less than 2. Let's say we have 1A. So that's less than 2. So we'll have, or we could have just 1B. We could have A comma B, and that will take us to another state. In this case, it would also be an accept state because you could either get an A that's less than 2, that goes to an accept state. You get a B that's less than 2, go to an accept state. And then we have to take into account these transitions. What if you get an A or a B? If you get an A or a B, you just have to go to a different state. People call it dead state, or you could just call it Q2. It doesn't matter because it will never be accepted. It will never land on the accept state. And then here you could just loop A's and B's. So let's run a string. So empty string we already did. That's going to be accepted. What if we get just 1A? Just 1A would put us at Q1. That would be accepted. Just 1B. That would put us at Q1 again. That would be accepted. What if we get A? 1A to get to Q1. To Q1 we go to dead state because that's not less than 2. So here's the actual DFA for that condition. And then now we have another one. DFA for strings less than or equal to 2. So this is pretty similar. Shortest string will be empty string again. So let's write that. So remember, if empty string is in the language, the first state will be an accept state. We'll call this Q0. We'll put a circle to say it's an accept state. And then we'll have the little, wow, this is a very sloppy circle. It's not any better, but we'll have the little arrow saying that's accept, because if there's nothing in there, we just want to stay at the accept state. But what if we get an A or a B? If we get an A or a B, we could have a transition, A or B, and that will take us to Q1. And this is pretty much the same one we did before. But before it was if strings were less than 2. Here it could be less than or equal to 2. So that's what we did before. So less than or equal to 2. So actually, A, B will get accepted. So if we get an A or a B, we can have that to another state. A or B, this will take us to Q2, and then it will get accepted. And then anything after Q2, like it doesn't matter. It will never be accepted. So we could go to AB, and then we could call this dead state or whatever. Let me zoom in. Dead state. People call it that, or you could just call it Q3. And then once you get to Q3, everything after you just loop because it doesn't matter. So here we're drawing in like all the transitions, A's and B's in one like arrow. You could do that, or you could just have them separate. Like it doesn't matter. You could do A, B, but I'm just doing it all at once. That like it works as long as you like keep in mind both transitions for each state, A and B. Like you should be fine. Okay, so let's run a test. Say we just get an A. We use we cross off the A to get to Q1. That's accepted. Say we just get a B. We use the B to get to Q1. That's accepted. Say we get a B. So to get to Q1, we use an A. To get to Q2, we use a B. We're still in an accept state. That works. Say we get A. So that should not work. We should not land in an accept state because that's not less than or equal to 2. So we'll use an A to get to Q1, an A to get to Q2, and then an A to get to the dead state. We will never be over an accept state, so that works. So there's a DFA for that one. Do I have another one? Yeah, I do. DFAs for strings length greater or equal to 2. Oh, this is going to be different. So let's think about this. The shortest string is going to be a little different. In this case, empty string will not be in the language, so we could say shortest string. Let's think about it. First, I'm doing these too fast. I forgot to like highlight what's important. So strings length greater or equal to 2. And the language will be AB. So the shortest string will just be 2, like 2 letters, 2 A's or 2 B's or an A or a B. We'll just say, it doesn't matter. We could say all of them, AA, AB, BB, or BA. So those are going to be the shortest strings right there. So let's start off with the first state. Remember, empty string is not in the language, so the first state will not be an accept state. So we'll have Q0. So if we get an A or a B, we could go to a different state. And I'm just doing them all in one transition. And then we'll call this Q1. So let's look at AB. So if we use this A to get to Q1, and then we could draw another transition state, another state. Right here, we're looking at AB. We're to use the A. And then we'll have another transition with AB, and the string is over. So here, we could have an accept state. And we'll call this Q2. Okay, and then everything after this, it doesn't matter because it has to be greater or equal to 2. Everything after Q2, we could just loop it. So A or B. And then here's going to be the DFA. It's actually pretty simple. Say we get an A, we just get to Q1. That's not accepted. Say we get a B, that will get us to A, to B, that's going to be accepted. So it doesn't matter what the combination of letters are. It could be A, B, A, that does not matter. Say we get A, B. We get an A to get to Q1, right here. We use another A to get to Q2, we're right there. And then we can just loop A's and B's, and we stay at the accept state. So yeah, that's it. I think that's all my examples for this video. If this helped in any way, please leave a like and subscribe.